Hello there, Ringside Crew.
Hey dudes at Ringside Crew, this is Davian.
Hey, it's Jenny Santana.
This is Elsie.
This is the Savage Juggernaut, Tamaku.
Inside Ring!
This is Thomas D. Bruff.
This is Billy Starks.
Mr. Chad Epic.
Megan Mason.
Hey everybody, Scotland's own Brody Adler.
The headliner in charge, Marco Mania.
This is your girl Charisma.
Papa Dink, Brendan Dicker.
This is According to Woods.
Savannah Summers.
I'm Shorty.
Cash Money Sass.
Where you are watching
The internationally known
Dudes at Ringside podcast, hosted by Metal Geek and Joe the Panther Jr.
Hello there, wrestling fans. Hey, Vinny. And welcome to another episode of the internationally known Dudes at Ringside podcast. I am your host, Joe the Panther the Third. And now from the top of the Metal Mountain.
Hey, Ryan. What's up, buddy?
Hey, Ryan. Welcome, Ryan.
Yeah.
And covered in pumpkins in the middle of the mosh pit, it's the Happy Heel himself, the Metal Geek.
What's going on, Ringside Crew? What's going on, International? What's going on, everybody? What's going on, Joe? How's it going today?
Go Phillies.
Phillies?
Go Phillies.
Oh, man. Mr. Ryan's not going to like that one in the chat right now.
Astros are cheaters. Against you for cheaters. C is for cheater. And that's what they are.
Yeah. But yeah, let's go for it.
Yes, Geekums, you see that dark, mystery corner with the hood coming out of it?
Yeah, it's kind of creepy, scary. And it's creepy, scary wrestling month. That month towards the last day of this month is kind of scary.
It starts getting darker. I guess start getting darker and darker, dude.
But let's give a warm Dudes at Ringside welcome to our guest today. The one that she doesn't belong, Mizfett.
Hey guys and ghouls, what's up?
What's up?
Welcome.
Yeah.
So if our fans are not familiar with you, and why would they not be? Introduce yourself.
Well, like you said, I'm Mizfett, the one who doesn't belong. I'm currently the top of Texas women's champion.
There you go, right there.
Longest reigning top of Texas women's champion, might I add. I travel all over the U.S. I wrestle everywhere that you can, and I crush skulls everywhere I go.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So, you want to get the next question, Geek?
Yeah. Who trained you, Mizfett?
So I originally started training at the age of 19 under Chuy Martinez. He started off my trainer and became my husband.
Wow. There you go. You're always meeting people in wrestling. There you go.
You know,
right?
You know what they say? I always feel this, that the people that you're closest with are always your toughest teacher. And
absolutely.
Yeah, if you train with if you train with your dad, he's not gonna go easy on you. He's gonna be like, I'm gonna be tough. You better bring the tears. You know what I mean?
Yeah, my trainer, he pulls no punches. He definitely takes it the hardest on me. I have high expectations in my class, so.
Yeah, I was just about to add to that. It's almost like it's disrespect if they don't punch you the hardest. You know what I mean? And
right.
in wrestling terms, you're like, really? You're insulting me. He's like, you gotta hit me harder. Come on, right?
It's if you're doing chops and your husband's like, okay, we're not gonna go easy today. Okay, I don't believe you. Then you're like 3 hours later going, it's bleeding. Bleeding through my shirt, you know what I mean?
Right. I tell the new students that we have all the time that he has become so soft because when he started training me, my training sessions literally wouldn't end until my chest was bleeding from chops. He wanted me to be the toughest. So.
Wow.
I thank him because without him, who knows where I'd be now?
Yeah. Probably I'll be helping set up the ring instead of being in the ring. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. So Mizfett, how did you get your start in the wrestling business?
So I've been addicted to it since literally day one. I joke that I was born on a Monday, so obviously I was watching Nitro. That was what I was into when I was younger. But I've been going to wrestling shows here and there ever since I was younger. where I'm from Colorado, so we didn't have a predominant wrestling promotion when I was younger. But as soon as one came to the part of the state where I lived and they were a regular thing, I started showing up to them and I just wouldn't leave. I kept begging them, let me help tear down the ring, let me help set up chairs, anything I can do. And eventually my trainer took an interest in me and he offered to train me actually. So I just kind of took off from there.
That's always a plus right there. It's like when you're always wanting to learn to do something. He's like, let me do something. Like, let me set up the chairs. Let me teach me how to take down the ring or something like that. Just something to get just your feet in the door of the wrestling business. And I know there's a lot of people have been doing that lately. So
I have nothing but respect for the wrestling business. It is something that I love more than anything in this whole world. So I knew that it wasn't going to be easy, and I'm always down to give my absolute in it. I don't think there's ever a time when you stop paying your dues.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, totally. Like it's so people think it's so easy just to be in the wrestling business. It's really hard because you have to start from the bottom. Like you don't just jump in, get your first match, and you win a championship belt. Like you have to start from the bottom and take your bumps, set up the chairs, be able to first match. Everybody thinks they're gonna get everybody I work with like, oh, wrestlers start off and they get their victory in their first match. Oh, fuck no.
No.
Like, so my tying question, what was your energy like in your first match?
My first match was actually pretty intense. I wrestled a 45-year-old woman and I was 19. So she had quite the experience on me. It was nerve-wracking because I was the first women's match in the promotion, and we were in a totally new venue. So it was amazing. The crowd was very into it, and after I got into the back, everyone had real high expectations of me. So it went really well, I would say.
Yeah. What's your dream place to go to, like right now, that you haven't gone to yet?
Kind of hard. I've gotten to do a lot of traveling in the last year, so I'm very thankful for that. I would definitely say overseas would be something that would be amazing to do, whether it's Mexico, Japan, the UK. I want to go everywhere. So
yeah,
that's a good thing because most wrestlers just want to stay. If they're from the East Coast, if they're not really ready, they stay there. But like, there's some wrestlers that are from like the West Coast or like from Pacific or Texas that they are not handcuffed to that area. They're like people from California. They're coming to the East Coast or they want to, but it's like their age gap, whatever. But yeah, it's good to hear that you want to travel because, like as I said, a lot of wrestlers are not really particularly want to move on out of their areas. You know,
definitely.
So how did you come up with the gimmick Mizfett and the contacts and everything? So it's a cool concept.
So really, I tried to just be like all the best, and I turned myself up to 10. So it's really just me amplified a bit. The name Mizfett actually comes from The Miz. Obviously, he is my favorite wrestler of all time and my hero. So I had to go with Miz, and then Fett from Boba Fett. And I merged the two together to be, like the one who doesn't belong, the ultimate outcast, Mizfett, because I've never really fit in anywhere. To go back to your earlier question, when I started wrestling, I wrestled and trained for 5 years before I really had any kind of matches or anything like that, because I was the only female, and they wouldn't really let me wrestle males. And I did a lot of sitting and watching, and it wasn't until I really took a chance on myself and left the state that I got opportunities. And the last year and a half of my career has been really exciting and vibrant, and I've gone a lot of places and gotten a lot of opportunities, and I really think that was because I took the chance on myself and just left.
Yeah. So my follow-up question is, what would you say your favorite Miz promo and your favorite Miz matches?
Favorite Miz match? I'm a little biased, but I love the WrestleMania 27 main event where he walks in and walks out as champion. It's just so him, and it was so perfect, and that's the golden Miz era. As far as favorite promo, they're all just so good. Every time he speaks, it's just everyone has to stop and listen,
Yeah. Yeah,
Yep.
my favorite my favorite Miz promo would have to be the one with Christian and R-Truth in the ring, the Randy Riley promo, the infamous promo. Joe, you know the
Right.
one I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, he's like Riley and
Randy, Jimmy.
every
But
time it's always me and Geek. I always pretend like I'm the Miz, and it's like I'm the Miz, and Geek is what's his name, Morrison. So it's always like we always goof like missing Miz and Morrison. Always, that's like me. I
my,
always like really. I'm always sending Geek the give of Miz going
Really?
really. I love the video. I
yeah,
love that YouTube video when he does all his reallys. He's like really.
yeah. My favorite Miz match would have to be the one he faced Ziggler. I believe it was No Mercy. I think it was when Ziggler won the title.
The Intercontinental Championship?
Yeah. I believe it was No Mercy. I could be wrong on that one, but that match has to be Miz's best match to date.
He's definitely got some good ones. Most people are very, very surprised to find out that he's my favorite wrestler. Everyone really assumes that it's The Undertaker or something, you know, but Miz is the best wrestler of all time.
Definitely.
Or Papa Shango. I would also think you're.
I like Papa Shango more than I like The Undertaker, so.
Oh wow! Well, it's funny. Didn't they have a whole short storyline with them together for a while? And
Yeah.
you know what? It kind of it boggles my brain because Papa Shango still in the era of the Undertaker when he still was Paul Bear. Wait, yeah, Paul Bear wasn't with Taker about the time they did that angle, right?
I believe so.
That would have been a cool like rivalry, Papa Shango and the Undertaker. Like he'll do something to Taker like he did the Ultimate Warrior, and make him like make him like a zombie to him. Like he'll go after Paul Bearer because he'll put his arms up or whatever. But
I do notice as being like an obscure paranormal like gimmick that they tend to keep us away from other paranormal gimmicks. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't obviously put many storylines against each other.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I get that. Geek, you had the next question.
Yeah, all right. So what would you say a pre-match ritual is like?
Usually I go over what I would like to do in my head multiple times. Usually 95% of it's on the spot. It doesn't matter what's called in the back. I throw all that out the window, and as soon as I get out there, just what happens. But I always pray to the Miz. I'm not a religious person, so the Miz is the most important person to me. So I ask him for strength, and I go out there and I just wing it.
Have you ever met the Miz in person, or?
I have not. I don't know if I would be able to handle it.
So,
I've seen him live a couple of times, but
sorry about that.
it's okay.
So Mizfett, since it's the spooky season, what is your all-time favorite horror movies? Top 5.
Well, The Shining is my favorite movie of all time. I'm a horror fanatic, so top 5, probably Scream, the original Halloween, Trick or Treat, The Shining, obviously, and I really like the original My Bloody Valentine.
The one in 3D? Are we talking the one 3D or the back in the day?
The back in the day one.
All right. But yeah, my favorite horror movie had to be Insidious. I think that's probably the scariest movie. I'm still scared at that movie till this day, and that movie freaks me out.
The very first one?
The very first one freaks me out, yeah.
He always tells me, you gotta see Insidious. I'm like, I'll see it. Calm down.
If you're a fan of horror movies, Joe,
like for me, I always go back with horror movies. I'm like a fan of the older 80s movies, like Night of the Living Dead. Poltergeist, Night of the Living Dead, Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th. But I remember when the director of Night of the Living Dead died. The day he died, I was with my friend.
George A. Romero.
Yeah, I think I told you about this. I was so bummed about it. I was like, he's like, what do you want to do today, Joe? And I'm like, he's like, you seem like you're sad. I said, bumming. Romero died, man. And he's like, oh, I heard about that. Sad. He's like, what do you want to do today? I was like, I want to go walk around the cemetery, man. He's like, really? And he's like, have you been to the Milford Cemetery? Looks like something he would film in. And I was like, I was just walking around. My friend's like walking over graves. I'm like, dude, don't do that. You don't walk over graves. You walk behind the grave.
Right.
You look at the tombstone. You don't stand on their plot. That's not nice. That's like you're standing on their shoe. Like, disrespectful jerk. Like, no. Yeah. So, yeah. Okay.
What'd you say your favorite music is?
I listen to a little bit of everything, but mostly I'd say rock. I like metal.
Okay.
What did you say some of your favorite bands are from metal?
My absolute favorite band of all time is Bring Me the Horizon. I like older stuff too, like Merciful Fate and things like that. I listen to, I don't know, mostly Bring Me the Horizon, but I do switch it up from now and then.
Yeah, Bring the Horizon's a pretty good band. You know, Joe. You ever heard of them?
I've heard of them before. The name sounds familiar.
They did the Sasha Banks and Bailey theme for NXT Respect.
Oh, okay.
You know that song?
Doesn't sound familiar when you do that. Nope.
I'm so bad.
We're gonna get a copyright strike. That is it gonna give me a triangle in the corner of the video when you look at it.
No, it's good. No, it's going to give you a question mark saying, "What the fuck was that?"
Can you like send you the I don't know emoji with I don't know what is that? What's his name from American Idol is gonna pop up going, "Don't sing ever again."
Oh, Simon.
Yes, Simon's gonna pop up saying, "Don't ever sing ever again." Go home and read a book. Okay. So look, yeah, you're next. Sorry.
No, go ahead, Joe. I cut you
So
off.
what kind of music is going through your headphones right before after you pray to the Miz?
Usually I'm not lucky enough to listen to music before I get a match, but if I have a whole playlist dedicated to just Mizfett, so I has a lot of Papa Roach, Avenged Sevenfold, the Misfits, things like that on it.
Okay.
Yeah. Wait, I don't think we talked about Dream Opponent. Who was your Dream Opponent?
My what? I'm sorry?
Dream Opponent. Forbidden Door style. Forbidden Door style.
So my absolute dream opponent of all time would probably be Pentagon Jr., which surprises most people, but I just think it would be amazing to have a match with him. I don't have too many female dream opponents. I got to wrestle the one that was pretty big for me this year, actually. I had a death match with Sage Shin. So that was pretty big for me. That was like a check off the bucket list.
Wow, Pentagon's a big one because a lot of people have said Ray Phoenix, so nobody's really said Pentagon, you know? Do you know, Joe, right? A lot of people said Ray Phoenix.
Yeah, because we had a guest that was actually like a big fan of his, and he was like, "Oh my God, Ray Genesis, Ray Genesis." He had the cool Spanish accent.
Ray Genesis said that he's a big fan of Ray Phoenix, right?
Yeah. So, do you have any stories from any of your matches that you want to talk about?
I would say one of the hardest matches I've had to date was last October. I had my very first death match of all time, and it was actually against my husband / trainer. So that was kind of hard because you never want to go into a match with somebody you care about, and you just never know what can happen in those kind of matches. So
it's kind of scary.
That was nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
So
what were you gonna say?
No, I cut you off. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Other than that, most of my matches are pretty. I have a lot of the same opponents at the moment because I travel a lot through Oklahoma and Kansas, so I have a lot of my opponents that are in those areas. I don't have too many opponents that are like this weekend where I'm just meeting them for the first time. Like a lot of my opponents are repeated.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah.
You do have an upcoming show though, right?
I do. I will be in California this weekend.
Mm.
In California, and
Right.
that
This is for this Sunday for XWW.
XWW. Yeah. So, how do you pronounce the name? Super Gabacho.
Gabacho, I believe. Yes.
Yeah, Super Gabacho. I got it correct. Look at that, Joe. I
Yeah,
ain't botched I ain't botched the name. I'm always the one botching it.
It's the Mizfett. It's like so funny. He can't say Spanish names, but yet he looks at me like I'm gonna get it. I'm like, I can barely talk to my Spanish grandma, so shut up. Shut up, geek.
Joe's gonna get it better than I am, so that's.
I have to roll it. You have to roll it. Super
That-
Garbasco. Like I'll botch it and I'll think I sounded good.
Joe,
Gabacho.
just say it. Just say it. So it's way because I can't pronounce it.
Serper. Well, no kids. Joe has not been drinking. Super Garbasco. Basco. Basco?
Mhm.
It sounds like I'm talking like Beavis. Super Garbasco.
And that's what you said. That's this Sunday. So make sure you guys buy your tickets to the show. All right.
Yes. And
Yeah, that will be this Sunday. This Saturday I will actually be in Fist Combat for San Diego, California, and that will be live on Twitch.
Oh wow. Okay.
Oh, all right. Well, me and Joe may watch it actually. So
Yeah.
on Twitch.
If you want to, after the podcast on Instagram, just send us the link to the Twitch, and we could watch it.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Should be a fun match. I do an annual body bag match for Fist Combat. So last year I put away a Hellman Rose Crown, and this year I don't know my opponent yet.
He's been on our podcast, Hellman.
Yeah, he's killing it right now. Yeah, he's killing it right now, Joe.
Oh my gosh, he's everywhere, that guy. You want to talk about that match?
It's last year.
If you want to talk about that match, you could talk about that match if you remember anything from it.
Yeah, it was a pretty fun match. It was for Carnival of Death 2. So it was a deathmatch tournament. And after I beat him in the first round, I actually went on to have a match later in that night with T-Rex and Chewy Martinez. So that was nerve-wracking. The first round was pretty easy because it was just a body bag match. And then the second round was full-blown death match. That was actually the first time I'd ever taken thumbtacks. So
crazy. A lot of people tell me thumbtacks are like the worst. A lot of people tell me thumbtacks don't feel bad going in. They feel hurt coming out though.
It was 50-50. It was more the splash of the giant man giving it to me.
Oh jeez, man! Right?
Oh no.
He was about 300 pounds, so no big deal.
Oh, yikes.
Yeah, Fist Combat, it's an amazing promotion, very small, intimate venue. So if you ever get the chance to go to it, it's pretty amazing. It's really intense.
Yeah, there's a promotion, I think, by me and Joe. I think what's it called, Joe? It's like something to do with the cage. Ultimate, not UFC, Ultimate something.
It was like some kind of ultimate something, and it's like
all the matches at cage. They all like wrestle like their MMA style.
Yeah,
like,
all the matches are in MMA cage, but it's like they have pro wrestlers, they have MMA fighters, and they all combine, they all wrestle in this promotion. And
I think,
and all the wrestlers either they wear their normal wrestling gear, Misfit, or they go to the MMA style, but they wear like their normal makeup and what they were wearing to the ring, but they're wearing the MMA gear, so it's like. If they went into MMA, it's like
what's it called? Use something. I think it's called.
I haven't seen them do any shows in a while. Have you?
They usually do them. I think they do them once a year. I think it's like an annual show, you know. But it's a fun concept though. I think it's over here on the East Coast that they do that. You know.
I just feel bad for the ones that are not prepared for it. They're like, I'm gonna try this, and it's like, did you read the cue card before we jumped in?
It's like Bloodsport. How Bloodsport does their annual shows. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so but it's the same idea, but they do it in a steel cage, which is pretty cool though. Yeah.
I watched one of the videos clips on Instagram, and it was one of our former guests, and I was like, again, did she read the cue card before she jumped in? Because she lost the match miserably. I was like, did you read the card before you went in, girl? No, no, you're better to stick into the wrestling ring. No. There we go. You got another one, geek?
Yeah, I got one. My final question is: what is your favorite food?
I have a sweet tooth, honestly. So I like food, but if I'm gonna choose something, it'd probably be something sweet,
Yeah,
candy or pie or cake or something.
There you go.
I know. I
But
know
if
it's
you
Halloween
want
season.
food, probably
Pizza. All right. Oh, you can definitely have enough
probably yeah.
food.
We love
Yeah.
pizza. We're pizza heads, me and geek. We love pizza.
What's your favorite topping for pizza?
Bell peppers.
Ooh,
Bell
okay.
pepper. Yeah. For me, it's either cheese or pepperoni, just plain. That's it. You can't screw up a good New York style cheese pizza right there.
Geek immediately thinks Home Alone 2, large cheese pizza just for me. And then Joe goes, or is it? And I start rolling it up. And eat it like Garfield. Me, my favorite type of pizza, I try not to make the pizza too like packed, but if I'm in the mood for everything and not just one or two, I'll get a meat lovers. If I'm in the mood for like everything. If they had a garbage can pizza, I'd eat it. Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
Garfield when it comes to that.
So, what would you say the best advice you ever received is?
I would say the best advice I ever received is sacrifice is the key to success.
Okay.
Because you can't gain anything unless you're giving something up.
Exactly. It's always. I feel like wrestling is helping each other out, and that's the same thing with podcasting too. It's like everyone thinks, oh, they're going against each other. They're going against each other. I'm like, well, to me and Joe, everything has to be in a positive environment. I know there's not a lot of podcasts that think the same way, that just want to knock you off, but it's like we're all trying to do the same job. We're all trying to get wrestlers over, and we're trying to get over as well. So we might as well just help each other.
Yeah.
You
It would be a better world if we could all just work together.
Oh my
Exactly.
gosh. Yes. It's like sometimes I get mad when I hear wrestlers bickering about little things, and I'm just like, guys, you're doing things me and Metal Geek dream of doing.
Yeah.
And you're bickering? Come on.
It's like because this guy doesn't want to put this guy over. Oh, he don't deserve it. I'm like, what the hell, right?
Because I've heard some messed up things, like young wrestlers, they get put over by the older guy, but then they're like, oh, I'm older in the business, shouldn't I be over, and shouldn't I go over, and he doesn't deserve it. Well, you're both trying to get the same thing, the attention and the brass ring. Calm down.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. I get so mad when I hear that stuff.
There's just too many egos in wrestling, especially.
Oh my
Hulk Hogan.
gosh! So I told Geek sometimes it's like a sorority house. I'm beautiful. No, I'm beautiful. Give me the mirror. It's my mirror. No, it's my mirror.
Really, it does.
Ooh, my last question is: if you had a bucket of candy for Halloween, what would be in the candy and why?
Well, I'm not a huge fan of cherry, so there'd be no cherry candy in there. But definitely like gummies and sour stuff. Lots of that. Just give me all the good stuff. Just no coconut or cherry.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right. We want to thank you so much for coming on the podcast. By the way, do you have any social medias by any chance, or?
Definitely, you can find me across all social media platforms. Mizfett. You can find me there no matter where you look.
Yeah. And besides the poster you sent us, do you have any other upcoming shows, or that's it?
So I will be in California this whole weekend, and then I won't have anything else until November the 11th, and I'll be heading back to Kansas.
Okay. All right. So that's awesome.
If our fans want to pick up any of your merchandise, where can they find it?
For now, you would directly contact me on any social media platform. I did recently just get my very first merchandise. I got some stickers.
Yeah, stickers.
It took me long enough, but I have some merch now. I am working on t-shirts. Those should be next.
Yeah, t-shirts are the hardest. Stickers are the
Oh my
easiest.
gosh. You think they're easy to get, and the company charges you double because you have to get different sizes. That's the crazy part of it.
Especially
Yeah,
trying
that I find a hard time finding somebody who prints like the right quality, and then a lot of them will have problems with copyright, or they won't want to use your picture or whatever the problem is.
Yeah.
That's stupid.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast, Mizfett. I'm Joe Panther the Third,
I'm the Metal Geek.
And I'm Mizfett.
and we will catch you in the next one.
Thank you guys.
You're welcome.